When you think about 3D platformers, you probably think of your good old mustachioed friend, or the blue hedgehog that appeals to only a certain amount of people. And maybe you're thinking of a bot. Well, either way, I'm sure you have thought of the yellow bird, named Toree. No? No, you haven't? Oh well, that doesn't matter, because today I will be playing through the Toree Trilogy, so that you get to know the games, and that you can play them too. Every single game is around 20 to 30 minutes long, which isn't a lot, but it's very replayable if you ask me, so it's definitely worth its very cheap price. Get it? Cheap, because they're a bird. Thank you, thank you. We start our journey with Toree 3D and get instantly greeted with death, holding our ice cream. I get instantly stumped because A and B are different jumps and I thought they were the same. A is basically a short jump and B is basically the higher jump. So when I finally realized that the wall was no problem to get over, in this level we are met with several cool level mechanics. Well, not all of them are cool. Moving platforms in my opinion just move too slow and have nothing special about them to make them interesting. But what is interesting are the wind gusts and the platforms that make you go faster. Like in any 3D platformer, there are also collectibles, but they are all optional and are only needed for the S rank. I do really like the vibe of this level though. Tall city buildings with giant stars in the middle of it, because why not? The next level has a completely different vibe and reminds me of Sonic, aside for the giant one-eyed octopus in the middle. I'm actually not sure if it's a squid or an octopus because, well, I didn't count its arms. A thing I like about this level is that it's the squidopus that is moving the platforms around instead of some unknown force. It is always nice if there's some kind of realism in platformer games, because you know a giant squid is not that realistic. I died a few times, but it was ultimately not too bad of a level. I then proceed to go back to the city and get met with some creepypasta. Yeah, this game actually has some creepypasta, which is honestly unexpected, but I guess maybe it is because it might be inspired by Kirby. Other than that, the mechanics of this level were the same, aside for that it is completely a different level. So I won't be talking about this one too much. In the next level we are back at sea, and we actually move really fast this time. The level flows really well together in my opinion and really feels a bit like you are playing a slower paced Sonic game. A thing I haven't mentioned yet is that there are enemies in the game, and they actually add to the challenge for once, because if you hit them you die instantly. No health bar, no nothing, touching something dangerous is instant death, and I really love that about my levels in this game. Good thing there are checkpoints though. The next two levels I do are at the snowy mountains and we get introduced to ice physics. Woohoo, everybody's favorite. But I must say that in this game the ice physics really aren't that bad. They actually flow really well in this level, and also look at these cool earmuffs we get while playing these levels. I really think it is nice that there are two levels for each area, so there is some continuity but also some variety, and I love that. And honestly, for some sections of the game I'm also so glad that there are a bunch of checkpoints, you know, because sometimes you'll die a few times and I don't want to do the whole level again. And you know, from time to time the game also introduces something fresh that is only unique to one level. And you know, here's an example: snowballs with teeth. If that isn't dangerous, then I don't know what is. The next two levels are more straightforward, as you will be traversing a road that implements different mechanics from previous levels like the ice and wind. I think these two levels aren't that interesting to talk about, but hey, they're not that bland either, you know. They're still fun to get through, and they're still quite actually challenging. So hey, that's lovely. The final level is basically a big hooray to the game and implements everything we have seen before. It's definitely the most difficult level here, but at the same time it's really not that bad of a level, and it is honestly the best one of this game. I genuinely think they created the distorted world vibe perfectly in this level. At the end of it we get rewarded with our ice cream that had been stolen, and we get hit by the credits. And all in all, this game took around 20 minutes to beat, but it was honestly the most fun 20 minutes you could ever want. I think the level design in this game is interesting, but still it's a bit lax when it comes to implementing creativity. I think they could have done way more, but perhaps Toree 2 will give me exactly what I want. Toree 2 starts off with a little bit of a, well, you can only call it a lore dump before we get prompted to start the game. I instantly pick a level to play and it instantly has more flair in my eyes than its predecessor, although they were still able to keep the good old style that we all so love. Either way, the game level starts out pretty normal until we come across boost circles. Well, that's the name I'm gonna give it because it looks like a circle and gives you a boost. But that's not all. There's also a boost energy beam thing that, you know, at the start it might seem like actually an obstacle, so I jumped over one, but it actually isn't. You just go faster if you just go through it. It drastically evolves the flow of the game into a more fast-paced game than Toree 3D, and I honestly do like that. Just like in Toree 3D, every single style has 2 levels, and the second one is no different with its speed and really fun flow. The game also has once again the same collectibles as Toree 3D, which is really fun, but I will not collect them all. The next pair of levels is set into a beachy, vibey area, and the Squidopus is back, and now it's just relaxing right there instead of being a menace to society. Instead of the same type of things as in the previous levels, these levels introduce water and chairs as your gimmicks. The chairs can be used as trampolines, while the water just makes you move faster. Let's just also say that I wanted to skip a lot of the level but ended up failing at that miserably. It's fine though, as this game honestly has a nice vibey music to it, so I can only describe it as I did that on purpose, because the music is lit. There was a random jump scare in one of these levels though, so that's great, very great. I didn't get scared though, as I am never scared at all, because I don't get scared in my life, because being scared means... yeah, I was scared. But overall, I really love the vibe of these levels, specifically these ones. For the next few levels, we are in space and just make our way across a bunch of spaceships. Mechanically, the levels just have nothing new, but they do focus on one thing in particular, and I really like it. Yes, it's speed, baby. I love speed, baby, in my levels. It just makes the levels flow so nicely together and make them just a bit more speedy, you know? And they form this kind of connection, and it's all well thought out. There's actually no moment where you're like, oh wow, it's actually breaking the momentum. No, it's honestly as if the bird is as fast as the blue hedgehog. I must say that with the speed, the levels do increase in difficulty, and that's really nice. Speaking of difficulty, the next 2 levels after that are completely different in that aspect, as we get into a lava world and get this really cool hat. We get introduced to so many new things in here that it is just faster that you just look at the gameplay footage while you listen to my beautiful voice. Instead of speed, the game now focuses on the precision platforming and a bit of patience. Yes, you really need patience to beat these levels, but they don't break the momentum, as honestly in these levels you need to be patient and jump at the right time. Now obviously the last level of the lava world is where we just have to climb a tower and avoid the magma. It's really nice, but I kinda failed at that one a little bit. We end the game off with a pretty unique level with a lot of cool things. And the boss at the end, yes, there wasn't in a previous game, and it's not too easy as well. Well, it's not too difficult either, but Toree dies in one hit, so if you mess up... I do love that when we hit the orbs back in this boss fight, though, we get rewarded with a loud slapping sound. Yeah, and once we finish the game off, we befriend our enemy, the Reaper, the boss, and share our ice cream with them to, well, become friends with them. Because, well, everyone needs a friend that's kind of emo in their life. I think this game had better levels than its predecessor, and is honestly one of those games that I will always come back to for a quick and fun replay. Toree Saturn is up next, and it completely reinvents itself in the best way possible. It has cutscenes. That's right, baby, the series finally introduces cutscenes and a much more impactful and coherent story. The game also just looks better, and in the tutorial we get introduced to way more mechanics like homing jump and ground pound dash. What? That's honestly really crazy, since this is the first stage, there isn't anything special about it, and I bet it really easily. Mr. Evil Mohawk guy decides to join the evil club, and well, we get a time skip and play as him now. And you know, it's a very cool area with a bunch of fun little cutscenes, but the level itself is kinda straightforward. And I think that's really good, as it seems more of a story level than anything else, and more of a level to get the hang of the controls. So yeah, but we also get introduced to a different collectible. Yes, ice cream. Ice cream is now a collectible, not just stars. We then cut back to Toree in this really vibrant city area, and I honestly dig it. It is not too difficult, but it is definitely such a step up from the previous games that I can only be flabbergasted by it. And my dear lord, does the movement feel amazing or what? This is what I'm talking about when I talk about good 3D platformers. This is exactly what I have in mind then. A lot of fast movement options and more. Good level design, you know? The next level makes you go into a straight line, and while I do enjoy the speeds in this one, I could have helped to feel a certain amount of dread that wouldn't make me want to go faster other than just getting an A rank. Toree then takes the elevator. Yeah. How fun! And now we're in the clouds! Yes! There is definitely some more coherence in the story, and there is definitely some more coherence in between the levels. I love that! I really love that! They really thought about this. The homing jump really does a lot of good as well, as it's definitely needed for every single level. And in the next level, after all that, we get on some ships, and yeah, that's actually the evil base. Yes, they're on the water somehow. And you know, it's time for a boss fight. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we get blasted into oblivion. Those are some very nice ruins though, but I didn't expect that. Toree is weak. This is an absolutely beautiful area in my honest opinion, and it has these very interesting design choices that I can only gush about. You're walking on giant snakes. Isn't that amazing? It is this level that is quite long and also just very fun to play through. So it truly is one of a kind, and in pure wholesome fashion, go to the area that was home to the previous villain, because he's now our ice cream buddy. Once we meet up with him, he decides to help us take back our ice cream, and you know what? The next segment is the most cool thing ever. It's filled with epicness, and I can't describe it any other way. You just have to look at it. You have to look how cool this is. I know that level is super easy, but who cares? Who cares? It's cool, man. It's cool. This is just about the pure enjoyment of video games. You feel prepared for what's up ahead, and honestly that's nice. But I don't need to do that, as we first get a few challenges here and there, and then we get a boss against Mr. Evil Mohawk guy. And it's easy because it's just a race, and I'm good at racing, man. So yeah, that was that. I bet the game. It's a super amazing game. It's a really fun game, and you should play it. It just came out recently as well, so go buy it or something. I mean, that's honestly bad. Don't say no. It's just a blast of a game. So, did you enjoy this video? I sure hope so. Because if you did, like and subscribe, eh? Yeah. Because if you like and subscribe, you will let me know that I should make more of these videos. And I hope you all now understand that the Toree Trilogy is amazing. So you should play it. Goodbye!